And now, the continuing story of Home with the Helmers, brought to you by Keeler and Peterson. Keeler and Peterson, inspired sweets since 1879.
Business. Such business as ours. I do understand. You believe that? Very well. Do as you wish. But this I will tell you, that if I am to be flung into the gutter a second time, you will keep me company.
Ivar! Don't tell anyone about the strange man. Do you hear, Bobby? Don't even tell Papa. I can't play with you just now. Run to the nursery. I have so much to do. Run along. Run along and be good, my darlings. Ellen, bring in the Christmas tree. No, it's quite impossible.
Where shall I stand it, ma'am?
There, in the middle of the room.
Shall I bring in anything else, ma'am?
No, thank you. I have all I want. There must be flour there and flowers there. Oh, that horrible man! Nonsense, nonsense. There is nothing to be afraid of. The Christmas tree shall be beautiful. And I shall do everything to please you, Torvald. I will sing and dance. Ba ba bee ba bum bum. Yip do 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 do. Whoop 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 whoop. You're back already.
Yes. Has anybody been here?
No.
That's odd. I saw Krogstad come out of the house.
Did you? Yes. by the by. He was here for a minute.
Nora, I can see by your manner that he has been begging you to put in a good word for him.
Yes.
And you were to do it as if of your own accord. You were to say nothing to me as of his having been here. Didn't he suggest that too?
Yes, Torvald, but...
Well, Nora, you could condescend to that, to speak to such a man, to make him a promise, and then to tell me an untruth about it.
An untruth?
Didn't you say that nobody had been here? My little bird must never do that again. A songbird must sing clear and true, no false notes. That's so, isn't it? Yes, I was sure of it. And now we'll say no more about it. Cozy and quiet it is here.
Torvald?
Yes?
I'm looking so forward to the Stenborg's fancy ball the day after tomorrow.
And I'm on tenterhooks to see what surprise you have in store for me.
Oh, it's too tiresome.
What is?
I can't think of anything good. Everything seems so foolish and meaningless.
Has my little Nora made that discovery?
Are you very busy, Torvald?
Well,
What papers are those?
bank business.
Already?
I've got the retiring manager to let me make a few necessary changes to the staff and the organization. I can do this during Christmas week. I want to have everything straight by the new year.
Then that's why that poor Krogstad. If you hadn't been so very busy, Torvald, I should have asked you a great, great favor.
What can it be? Out with it.
Nobody has such perfect taste as you. And I should so love to look well at the fancy ball. Couldn't you take me in hand and settle what I'm to be and arrange my costume for me?
Aha! So my willful little woman is at a loss and making signals of distress?
Yes, Torvald, I can't get on without your help.
Well, I'll think it over. And we'll soon hit upon something.
How good that is of you. How well the red flowers show.
We will return to Home with the Helmers after this word from our sponsor, Keeler and Peterson. Keeler and Peterson, inspired sweets since 1879. Keeler and Peterson is a holiday tradition. And now you can enjoy the holidays with no sugar added. Keeler and Peterson. Go ahead. Nibble a macaroon or two. And now we return to the continuing story of Home with the Helmers.
Torvald, tell me, was it anything so very dreadful this Krogstad got into trouble about? Torvald, sweetheart, you're muted.
Forgery. That's all. Don't you know what that means?
Mayn't he have been driven to it by need?
Certainly. Or like so many others, he may have done it out of pure heedlessness. I am not so hard-hearted as to condemn a man for a single fault.
No, certainly not, Torvald.
Many a man can retrieve his character if he owns his crime and takes the punishment.
Punishment?
Krogstad didn't do that. He evaded the law by means of tricks and subterfuges, and that is what has morally ruined him.
Do you
Just think, what a man with that sort of thing on his conscience must be always lying, canting, shamming. Think of the mask he must wear towards those who stand nearest him, towards his own wife and children. The effect on the children, Nora, that's the most terrible part about it.
Why?
Because in such an atmosphere of lies, home life is poisoned and contaminated in every fiber. Every breath the children draw contains some germ of evil.
Are you sure of that?
As a lawyer, my dear, I have seen it often enough. Nearly all cases of early corruption may be traced to lying mothers.
Why mothers?
It generally comes from the mother's side, but of course the father's influence may act in the same way. Every lawyer knows it too well. And here has this Krogstad been poisoning his own children for years past by a life of lies and hypocrisy. That is why I call him morally ruined. So my sweet little Nora must promise not to plead his cause. Shake hands upon it. Oh, come. Give me your hand. That's right. Then it's a bargain. I assure you it would have been impossible for me to work with him. It gives me a positive sense of physical discomfort to come in contact with such people.
How warm it is here. I have so much to do.
Yes. And I must try to get some of these papers looked through before dinner. And I shall think over your costume, too. Perhaps I might even find something to hang in gilt paper on the Christmas tree. My precious little songbird.
It can't be. It's impossible. It must be impossible.
The little ones are begging so prettily to come to Mama.
No, Anna. Don't let them come to me. Keep them with you.
Very well, ma'am.
Corrupt my children. Poison my home. It's not true. It can never, never be true. There's somebody coming. Nobody. Nobody is likely to come today. It's Christmas Day. Nor tomorrow either. But perhaps... No? Nothing in the letterbox. Quite empty. Nonsense! Of course he only meant to frighten me. It's impossible. Why, I have 3 little children.
At last I found the box with the fancy dress.
Thank you, dear old Anna. Put it on the table.
But it's very much out of order.
I wish I could tear it into 100,000 pieces.
Oh, no. It can easily be put to rights. Just a little patience.
I'll go and get Mrs. Linden to help me.
Going out again? In such weather as this, you'll catch cold, ma'am, and be ill.
Worse things might happen. What are the children doing?
They're playing with their Christmas presents, poor little dears. But
Do they often ask about me?
you see, they're so used to having their mama with them.
I know, Anna, but in the future, I can't have them so much with me.
Well, little children get used to anything.
You think they do? Do you believe that they would forget their mother if she went quite away?
Gracious me! Quite away!
We will return to Home with the Helmers after this word from our sponsor. Keeler and Peterson. Keeler and Peterson now offers no sugar added and brand new fat-free. Keeler and Peterson, go ahead. Nibble a macaroon or two. Fat-free. And now, back to home with the Helmers.
Tell me, Anna, I've so often wondered about it. How could you bring yourself to give your child up to strangers?
I had to when I came as nurse to my little Miss Nora.
But how could you make up your mind to it?
When I had the chance of such a good place, a poor girl who's been in trouble must take what comes. That wicked man did nothing for me.
But your daughter must have forgotten you.
Oh, no, ma'am. That she hasn't. She wrote to me both when she was confirmed and when she was married.
Dear old Anna, you were a good mother to me when I was little.
My poor little Nora had no mother but me.
And if my little ones had nobody else, I am sure that you would... Nonsense. Nonsense. Go into the children. Now I must... Tomorrow you shall see how beautiful I'll be.
I'm sure there will be no one at the ball so beautiful as my Miss Nora.
If I only dared to go out. If only nobody would come here in the meantime. If only nothing would happen. Rubbish. Nobody will come. Only not to think. Beautiful gloves. Beautiful gloves. Away with it all. Away with it all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here they come. Oh, Christine, it's you. Is nobody else there? How delightful of you to come.
I hear you called at my lodgings.
Yes, I was just passing. I do so want you to help me. Let us sit here on the sofa. So, tomorrow evening there's to be a fancy ball at Cancel Stenberg's overhead, and Torvald wants me to appear as a Neapolitan fisher girl and dance the tarantella. I learned it at Capri.
I see. Quite a performance.
Yes. Torvald wishes me to. Look, this is the costume. Torvald had it made for me in Italy. But now it's all so torn. I don't know.
Oh, we'll soon set that to rights. It is just the trimming that has come loose here and there. Have you got a needle and thread? There's the very thing.
How kind of you.
So, you are to be in costume tomorrow, Nora. I'll tell you what. I shall come by for a moment to see you in all your glory. Oh, but I have quite forgotten to thank you for the pleasant evening yesterday.
Oh, yesterday it didn't seem so pleasant as usual. You should have come a little sooner, Christine. Torvald certainly has the art of making home bright and beautiful.
As do you, Nora. Or you wouldn't be your father's daughter. But tell me, is Dr. Rank always so depressed as he was yesterday?
Oh, no. Yesterday it was particularly striking. You see, he has a terrible illness. He has spinal consumption. Poor fellow. They say his father led a terrible life, kept mistresses and all sorts of things, so the son has been sickly from his childhood. You understand?
Why, my darling Nora, how do you learn about such things?
Oh, when one has 3 children, one has visits from women who know something of medicine, and you hear of this and that.
Does Dr. Rank come every day?
Every day. He's been Torvald's friend since boyhood, and he's a good friend of mine, too. Dr. Rank is quite one of the family.
But tell me, is he quite sincere? I mean, doesn't he like to say flattering things to people?
On the contrary. Why should you think so?
When you introduced us yesterday, he declared he had often heard my name. But I noticed your husband had no notion of who I was. So how could Dr. Rank?
He was quite right, Christine. You see, Torvald loves me so indescribably. He wants to have me all to himself, as he says. When we were first married, he was almost jealous if I even mentioned one of the people at home, so I naturally let it alone. But I often talk to Dr. Rank about the old times, where he likes to listen to me.
Listen to me, Nora. You're still a child in many ways. I'm older than you. I have more experience. I will tell you something. You ought to get clear of the whole affair with Dr. Rank.
What affair?
You were talking yesterday of a rich admirer who was to find you money.
Yes, one who never existed. Worse luck. What then?
Has Dr. Rank money?
Yes, he has.
And nobody to provide for?
Nobody, but...
And he comes here every day?
Every day, yes.
I should have thought he would have better taste.
I don't understand you.
Don't pretend, Nora. Do you suppose that I don't guess who lent you the 4,800 crowns?
Are you out of your senses? You think that? A friend who comes here every day. How painful that would be.
Then it really is not he?
No, I assure you. It never for a moment occurred to me. Besides, at that time he had nothing to lend. He came into his property afterwards.
Well, I believe that is good luck for you, Nora dear.
Really, it would never have struck me to ask Dr. Rank. But I'm certain that if I did...
But you, of course, never would.
Of course not. It's inconceivable that it should ever be necessary. But I'm quite sure that if I spoke to Dr. Rank.
Behind your husband's back?
I must get out of the other thing. That's behind his back, too.
Yes.
Get out of that.
Yes, I told you that yesterday.
A man can manage these things much better than a woman.
Yes, one's own husband. Yes.
Nonsense. When everything is paid, one gets back the paper.
Of course.
And can tear it into 100,000 pieces and burn it, the nasty, filthy thing.
Nora? Nora, you're hiding something from me.
Can you see that in my face?
Something has happened since yesterday morning, Nora. What is it?
Christine. There's Torvald. He's coming home. Go into the nursery. Here. Torvald cannot bear to see dressmaking. Let Anna help you.
Very well. But I shan't go away until you've told me all about it.
Oh, how I've been longing to see you.
Was the dressmaker here?
No, Christine. She's helping me with my costume. You'll see how well I shall look.
Yes. Wasn't that a lucky thought of mine?
Splendid. But isn't it good of me, too, to have given in to you?
Good of you. To give in to your own husband? Well, you little madcap, I know you don't mean it. But I won't disturb you. I dare say you want to be trying on.
And you're going to work, I suppose.
Yes. Look here, I just come from the bank.
Torvald?
Yes.
If your little squirrel were to beg for something so prettily,
Well,
would you do it?
I must first know what it is.
The squirrel would jump about and play all sorts of tricks if you would only be nice and kind.
Come then, out with it.
Your lark would twitter from morning till night.
Well, that she does in any case.
I'll be an elf and dance in the moonlight for you, Torvald.
Nora, you can't mean what you were hinting at this morning.
Join us next time for the continuing story of Home with the Helmers. Sponsored by Keeler and Peterson,